Pregnancy is this incredible time of change. And for a lot of people, staying active with something like Pilates feels like a fantastic idea. But what if I told you that a standard, run-of-the-mill class could actually do more harm than good? Today, we're going to dive into why specialized prenatal Pilates isn't just a nice-to-have, it's an absolute must for a safe and healthy pregnancy.
So that brings us to the big question, right? If you're pregnant, can you just walk into any Pilates class and assume it's safe? It seems like it should be a simple yes, but the truth is it's way more complicated than that. And honestly, getting it wrong can have some pretty serious consequences. And the answer, coming straight from an expert master trainer like Caroline Berger, is a firm, unequivocal no. This one statement really sets the tone for everything we're about to talk about. This isn't just about finding the best workout. It's about making sure you and your baby are safe. Period.
So why is a dedicated class so incredibly important? Well, it all starts with understanding that pregnancy doesn't just change your body, it completely transforms it. And I'm not just talking about a growing belly. We're talking about a massive shift in your hormones, your biomechanics, your entire center of gravity. Everything is different.
And this, right here, is the absolute heart of the matter. An exercise that's fantastic for toning someone's abs could be actively harmful during pregnancy. A standard routine just wasn't designed for these changes, and that's exactly where the danger comes in.
Okay, so what kind of risks are we really talking about here? Let's get specific and look at two super common conditions where a standard Pilates class could, without even realizing it, create a really serious problem.
First up is something called supine hypotensive syndrome. Now, you know how many Pilates exercises have you lying on your back? Well, after about 20 weeks, the weight of the uterus can actually press down on a major vein, the vena cava, and cut off blood flow. And the result? You could suddenly feel dizzy, sick to your stomach, or even faint right in the middle of a move. A trained prenatal instructor knows this and will modify every single time.
Next is diastasis recti. This is a very common separation of your ab muscles. Think of it like a zipper coming undone right down the midline of your belly. Now, imagine doing exercises like crunches or deep twisting motions. Those movements can actually pull that zipper further apart, making the separation worse and making your recovery so much harder later on.
And this really highlights the night and day difference in approach. An untrained instructor, even with the best of intentions, is just following a set routine. But a trained prenatal specialist, they are constantly watching, reading your body's cues, and adapting every single movement to keep you safe. The difference is absolutely profound.
Okay, so if standard classes are a no-go, what's the alternative? Well, this is where a really smart, science-backed approach like the Stott Pilates method comes into play. It's designed from the ground up to be both effective and totally adaptable, with safety as its #1 priority.
When it comes to the class format, it's pretty simple. The more personalized, the better. A private class is obviously the gold standard. It offers the absolute highest level of safety and customization. A small, semi-private group is also a fantastic choice. But a big, standard class? There's just no way to get the focused attention you need, which is why it's one to avoid.
So how does a method like this actually work? Well, it's really built on 3 key pillars. First, it starts with maintaining a neutral posture, which helps protect your joints when they're more vulnerable. Second, it focuses on strengthening those deep support muscles, like the pelvic floor, which are so crucial for carrying the baby and for delivery. And finally, it uses specific breathing techniques to help with oxygen flow and even manage stress.
And, the need for this kind of specialized expertise doesn't just vanish at delivery. In fact, the postpartum period is a whole other time of huge physical change, and doing the right kind of movement is absolutely essential for a healthy recovery.
This is exactly why postnatal Pilates is such a game changer. It's not just about getting your body back, it's about safely rebuilding your core, strengthening that pelvic floor, correcting your posture, and easing all those new aches and pains that come from caring for a tiny newborn.
And the exact same rule applies here. Jumping back into a workout too soon or doing the wrong moves can set you back or even cause an injury. That expert guidance is just as critical for your postpartum recovery, making sure you rebuild your strength the right way.
So as we start to wrap this up, it really all boils down to this one philosophy: train, supervise, and protect. The instructor's job isn't just to call out exercises. It's to train your body correctly, supervise every single movement for safety, and above all, protect the well-being of both you and your baby.
I think this powerful quote from Caroline Berger just reframes the whole thing perfectly. It's not about just tweaking a workout for a pregnant woman. It's about putting the powerful principles of Pilates to work in service of the body, supporting the incredible journey of pregnancy.
And that really leaves us all with a question to think about.
No matter what stage of life you're in, it's worth asking yourself, how can you put mindful movement at the service of your own body's well-being? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.